Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So a quick post-fight thoughts video for Anthony Joshua versus Kubrat Pulev. Now where do we start with this one? Now this fight, in my opinion, had two real quality moments from Anthony Joshua. Of course those being round 3 and round 9 where he ended this fight. But take the stoppage out of the equation, take round 3 out of the equation. Was Anthony Joshua impressive in this fight? In my opinion, I felt he looked rather average, to be honest with you. Yeah, he was in control throughout, don't get me wrong. Did Pulev win a round? In my opinion, more than likely not. Joshua was in control of his fight, but to me, he still looked rather unsure of himself at times, like he's still kind of suffering the mental demons from that first Ruiz fight. At times it looked like he was not really confident in his gas tank and maybe his chin. I mean, take round 3 for example. For me, Kubrat Pulev was there for the taking, and he was there for the taking throughout this fight. But round 3 in particular, Pulev was badly hurt with a right hand. He was dropped. He was dropped once again by a right uppercut. Pulev beats the count. And, you know, Joshua, he did try to finish him, but not with the same aggression that he usually would pre-Ruiz 1. Now you may say that's smart, but to me it looked clear that he wasn't confident in his ability to actually finish Pulev and not gas out or not get caught. That's what it looked like to me. Because in this fight, I'll be honest, Pulev was not a threat at all. He was slow as molasses, he completely abandoned his jab, he wasn't throwing the right hand with any regularity. He fought a terrible fight in all honesty, and he looked his age. He looked slow, he looked cumbersome, and he looked like exactly what he is, and that's a fighter past his prime. And still Anthony Joshua was unwilling to really turn the screw and get this guy out of there. After the third round as well, it looked like that little salvo from Joshua actually kind of tired him out a bit. It looked like he took round 4, round 5 off, really wasn't doing all that much apart from jabbing, landing the odd right hand here and there. He still won those rounds, but yeah, it looked like he was taking those rounds off. Then Joshua kind of came back into it again, got his second wind. Eventually in the 9th round, he hurt Pulev again with an uppercut, dropped him, and then finished him with a right hand in round 9. Pulev beat the count from the original knockdown in round 9, and Joshua basically sets him up with a right hand, throwaway jab, right hand down the middle, bang on the chin, drops Pulev to the ground, and Pulev couldn't beat the count. It was a really good finish by Anthony Joshua, and Joshua showed real signs of quality in this fight. Some of his punch picking was nice. The right uppercut in particular was working throughout. We mentioned that in the pre-fight prediction video. The uppercut was going to be there for Joshua because Pulev's a guy who likes to clinch. Sometimes he'll overshoot and fall in, and you know, he's a guy who's open for the uppercut. And Joshua saw that, he spotted it, and he executed that shot really well. At times, Joshua's jab was nice and snappy, rocking Pulev's head back, and the right hand also was quite devastating when it landed. You know, Joshua showed some good quality in this fight, don't get me wrong, but to me it just looks like Joshua's a fighter who still doesn't have his confidence back. That's what it looks like to me. And the worrying thing for me is, once again, to me, Anthony Joshua looks extremely vulnerable, extremely beatable in there. And I've seen that in the last 2 performances from Joshua post-Ruiz 1. Even in the second Ruiz fight, yeah, Joshua won that fight clearly against a guy who was morbidly obese. But every single time Andy Ruiz got close in that fight, Joshua looked panicky, he looked jittery, and he looked nervous. And I saw that again in this fight. The rare times where Pulev actually threw the right hand and connected, I don't think it really hurt Joshua, but every single time he was backing off or looking to hold, and he looked worried. There was a couple of times when Pulev backed up Joshua, when he would actually double up the jab or triple up the jab. This was like 2 times he done this in the fight, and both times Joshua backed up without any answer, without any response, and again he looked panicky. It's just the body language of Joshua right now isn't what it was pre-Ruiz 1. He doesn't have that swagger, and to me it always looks like Joshua, despite him maybe winning a fight, he always looks like one punch away from disaster, or one over-exuberant combination away from gassing out. That's what it looks like with Anthony Joshua right now. And overall, for rounds where he wasn't smacking up Pulev, you know, like rounds 3 and round 9, To me, Joshua just looked extremely average. He looked very cautious, almost like he was doing his best Vladimir Klitschko impression. That's what it looked like to me. He looked like he was fighting scared. And I've seen that now in 2 fights from Joshua. You know, that was one of the criticisms in regards to Vladimir Klitschko. He fought extremely timid, and sometimes you would say he fought scared. Now, that's not necessarily always a bad thing, because it can heighten your senses, it can keep you switched on even more. But to me, with Joshua, it just looks so apparent, to the point where I think somebody's going to expose that if he doesn't get his confidence back. Because what I saw against Kubrat Pulev, Anthony Joshua only has a puncher's chance against Tyson Fury. Not only Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, based on that performance, is going to be a rough night for Joshua. Dare I say Deontay Wilder versus that version of Anthony Joshua that we've seen in the last 2 fights. That's not an easy fight for Joshua. Right now, to me, Joshua looks to be for the taking. I'll be completely honest about it. I think he's extremely beatable right now. I believe the confidence is an issue. I really do. Maybe this fight's going to do him some good because he got the knockout. He had it all his own way for the most part. And maybe that's going to be good for his psyche, good for his confidence going forwards. But he certainly needs to shake out of that. It looks like he's overthinking in there at times, Anthony Joshua. And he needs to go back to what he was doing pre-Ruiz 1 for me. But yeah, overall, I would call it a workmanlike performance from Anthony Joshua. He got the job done, and he scored a really nice knockout. So, yeah, congratulations to Anthony Joshua for defending his heavyweight titles. But not a great performance, in my opinion. Workmanlike, with a lot of improvements that need to be made. As for Kubrat Pulev, I'll be honest, I thought he fought a pretty poor fight. He had the right idea in terms of trying to knock out Anthony Joshua because he wasn't going to win a decision in the UK, let's be honest. So he needed to knock out Joshua, and Pulev was looking for one right hand. That's all he was looking for in this fight. And, you know, the problem with that was that he was too economical with that right hand. He was looking for the perfect shot every time, and he only threw about 20-25 hard right hands in this fight. He was just looking for that perfect shot. To me, Pulev, yeah, he should have looked for the knockout, but he should have done it in a lot more, in a different way. Basically, he should have let it all hang out early on in this fight. That's what Pulev should have done, in my opinion, because, you know, Joshua looked extremely tense in the first 2 rounds, extremely jittery. He was reacting to any feint that Pulev threw. He looked extremely jittery in the first 2 rounds. Pulev should have really forced the issue early on, just threw a load of punches and basically see what happened. That's what Pulev should have done. It was his last chance at 39 years old. He's past his best. Why not roll the dice and give it a go? But to me, Pulev was far too economical with his right hand. He looked slow. He looked ponderous. And yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he fought a really, really poor fight. I wasn't impressed with Pulev at all. He showed some good toughness. He took some stick. He took some big shots. But that's really all I can say about Pulev in this fight. He showed a pretty good chin and a pretty good heart. But that's really it. And he looked every bit of his age at 39 years old. As far as I'm concerned, Kubrat Pulev now needs to retire. He's not going to get another title shot. Maybe he wants to hang around to be like a high-level gatekeeper. But Pulev is no longer a top 10 heavyweight, and last night was evident of that. I was disappointed with Pulev. He talked the talk, he came in good shape, but just didn't have it in the ring last night. He really didn't. Maybe that was just age, to be honest, but yeah, why not just roll the dice? He didn't do that as far as I'm concerned. He really didn't, but maybe you guys think I'm being overcritical, but all in all, I just really wasn't impressed with this fight. Apart from the, round 3 and round 9, I wasn't impressed all that much. And yeah, Joshua right now is, to me, he looks for the taking, I'll be honest. But there we go, that's just my opinion. It's Anthony Joshua, so I'm sure some of his sycophants are going to be in their feelings about what I've got to say about this fight. But yeah, I don't believe Anthony Joshua's headspace right now is where it needs to be heading into a potential Tyson Fury fight, or even an Alexander Usyk fight. He needs to, buck up and, get that old AJ spirit back, essentially. But there we go. Share your thoughts below. What did you make of this fight? What did you make of Anthony Joshua's performance? Were you as critical as me, or were you impressed? Share your thoughts below. Peace.